Hey, Canucks fans, it is Canucks game day as the Canucks play in their penultimate game of the season. You guys know how much I love that word. And Elias Pettersson still chasing 100 points. And I also want to talk about the draft lottery and the fact that the Canucks are guaranteed to be a part of it. So let's break it all down. Game number 81. Yes, the penultimate game of the season. Penultimate, my favorite word in the entire world. Penultimate means next to ultimate, next to last. The ultimate game of the season is in Arizona on Thursday night. That's the season finale. But tonight we have game number 81 against the Ducks. Canucks coming off their rather listless performance to the LA Kings yesterday, a 3-0 loss. Kind of wondering where all the offense has gone. The Canucks have never had trouble scoring, but now the last 5 games or so, offense has dried up a little bit. Corresponds with, I think, 4 out of 5 losses. I think their only victory recently was against Calgary on Saturday night in the season finale. Could be wrong there. I can't remember all the games now. They're all blurred to me as we limp towards the end of the season. Biggest milestone for me still is Elias Pettersson chasing 100 points. He's at 99. I know he's going to get there, whether it's tonight against Anaheim or Thursday against Arizona. I think it will be tonight. I think actually he'll score the first goal too. So right away, there's my score. There's my prediction of the first Canucks goal scorer. Let's go Elias Pettersson, and let's go a final score of 5-2 Vancouver. Give me your score predictions in the comments below. So I think the Canucks will score more goals tonight. They'll kind of open up the tap, so to speak. And I think Petey's at 37 goals and Kuzmenko's at 38, if I'm not mistaken. Petey might be at 38 as well, but I'm pretty sure it's Kuzmenko with 38 and Petey with 37. So let's see if any of those guys... Actually, wait, Petey scored against Calgary on Saturday night. So whether it's 38-38 or 38-37, I should have checked it before I started recording. Let's see if either of those guys can get to the 40-goal mark in the final 2 games of the season. When it comes to lineup, there's no extra defenseman right now because Jack Rathbone was sent back to Abbotsford to prepare for the playoffs. So I expect it to be the same 6, of course. It'll be Hughes with Burrows, it'll be Hirose with Myers, and it'll be Ethan Bear with Cole McCord. Hirose and McCord, well, I'm not suggesting at all that they're going to replace OEL and Myers as early as next season, although they'll be $12 million cheaper. They are performing very well, showing very well, and I think those are 2 good signings by the Canucks. Expected to be Thatcher Demko net tonight, given that Delia played last night, and then I expect it to be Delia on Thursday for the season finale in Arizona. Demko got the last home game, and that was on Saturday, defeating the Calgary Flames. And then up front, the only change that could happen, because the only other healthy body right now is Aiden McDonough. I would love to see McDonough play one more game before the season ends, whether you bring him in for a Studnicka, you bring him in for a Kravtsov, who hasn't really done that much on the top line. We'll see. The Canucks didn't have a game day skate. We'll know more about the lineup when Tocchet speaks around 5 o'clock. We'll definitely know more at around 6:30, just as the Canucks take the ice for their warm-up. So that's what I expect tonight. I expect a 5-2 victory for Vancouver, and I expect Elias Pettersson to score the first goal for the team. Couple notes about free agency and signings before we get into the draft lottery. Rick Dhaliwal of Donnie and Dolly reported this morning about four free agents, both UFA and RFA. So let's start with the RFAs. They've opened up talks once again with defenseman Ethan Bear. So I know there's, even on my channel, there's a lot of debate of whether or not you re-sign Bear. If you have Hronek, if you have Myers, it's a lot of money already. Bear's going to want at least $2.5 million on his new deal. So sounds like the Canucks do like this player and are looking at ways to keep him in the fold, whether that means moving on from Myers or simply having a really expensive right side next season. So the Canucks have open talks with Ethan Bear, and they're also in talks with RFA defenseman Noah Juulsen, also a right shot guy. When it comes to the 2 UFAs, one of them is Kyle Burrows. Apparently, according to Dhaliwal, no talks just yet. Burrows makes $750,000. He's kind of like a number 6, 7, 8 defenseman. So we'll see if they want him back as kind of like a depth player. And then no talks with UFA Colin Delia just yet. I go back and forth on this one. On one hand, he's been okay. He's still a little, never instills the most confidence when he's in the net. So I could see them moving on from him. You have Demko as your starter in Vancouver. You have Silovs as your starter in Abbotsford. You have Martin challenging for the backup spot behind Demko. And you can likely bring in a cheap veteran to also provide some competition and some depth. But then when I say that, bringing a cheap veteran to provide some competition, some depth, isn't that Colin Delia? Isn't that what he's exactly done? He's like 9, 6, and 2. So he's basically a couple of games over 500, and he's done okay. I mean, spectacular, but he's done fine as a backup. And if you think Thatcher Demko, you hope he's going to stay healthy and play really well next season. You just need a guy who can come into 20 to 22 games maybe for the year. So on one hand, I can see them moving on from Delia. On the other hand, you can't really beat his price point. So maybe it just makes sense to re-sign him. So that's something to keep an eye on going forward. Last thing I want to talk about Canucks fans is with their loss to the Kings last night, the Canucks are starting to solidify their final ranking in the standings. So they are 8th from the bottom right now and 25th overall, and they can't drop to 26. They're already 6 points up on Philly, and Philly only got 2 games left. So Philly nor any of the teams below the Canucks can catch the Canucks. So the Canucks are guaranteed at least to be 25th, which is 8th from the bottom. Now, they're in this clump of 4 teams with St. Louis, with Washington, and Detroit. Now, the Canucks, they're at the bottom of that clump of 4. So if the Canucks somehow win both of their games, which is possible, they're playing against Arizona and Anaheim, and somehow the other 3 teams lose all their games, the Canucks could jump all the way to 22nd overall, which is 11th worst. So right now they're in 8th worst. They could jump 3 spots to get to 11th worst or 22nd overall, or they could be anywhere in there. 22nd, 11th worst, 23rd, 10th worst, 24th, 9th worst, or 25th, which is 8th worst, which is where they are right now. So they're going to finish from the bottom 8th, 9th, 10th, or 11th. Why is that important? Well, it's important because you can only jump up 10 spots if you win one of the 2 draft lotteries. So if the Canucks can only, the highest they can go, or the best they can go is another way to say it, is 11th from the bottom, then guess what? They win the draft lottery, they jump up 10 spots, they can still get 1st overall, they can still pick Connor Bedard. If somehow they got to 12th worst or 21st overall, then actually they can only jump to 2nd if they won a draft lottery. So you can see how the key was they had to finish in 11th worst or worst, if that makes sense. They got to finish in the bottom 11 of the standings, and they're guaranteed to do so. So that's the good news. The good news is that they are going to be in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes for sure. Now, I want to say bad news, but the other part of that, though, is we don't know where they're going to finish, whether it's 8th, 9th, 10th, or 11th from the bottom. Obviously, 8th gives you the best odds, 6%. 11th gets you the worst odds, about 3%. So there's a 3% difference if you finish between 8th and 11th from the bottom. Now, it's not like the Canucks are playing Vegas or Colorado or New Jersey or Boston. They're playing 2 winnable games. And Anaheim, I talk about the Canucks being 8th from the bottom. Anaheim's 3rd from the bottom. So they're going to be trying to lose, I think, as much as they can. So it might be a battle of 2 teams that aren't really going to try that hard tonight, to be honest with you, because both teams are still jockeying for their final draft position. So we'll see what happens. But again, what I want to reiterate was with the Canucks loss last night, they will finish in the bottom 11. They will have a chance to win the draft lottery and the opportunity to select Connor Bedard. Still got another month until that draft lottery, but at least we know that we're going to be in it. And I think that's a certainty that we didn't have. Well, I guess we didn't have up until last night officially. So Canucks fans, give me your thoughts on whatever you want on the progress or lack of progress in contract talks with some of those players I talked about. And your thoughts on whether or not Pettersson will hit 100 points tonight. Your score prediction, your first Canucks goal scorer, and then of course your thoughts on the draft lottery and the fact that the Canucks are guaranteed to be in it. Leave a comment. I'd like to read, react, and reply as always. Subscribe now so you can get my videos every day, and so you get I would love you to subscribe, support me on this channel, like the video, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership, and definitely leave a comment in the comment section. I'll be streaming tonight at 11 p.m. It's Tuesday night. It's bowling night, so I'll have the game on the side. But I'll be trying to defeat my opponent in bowling, and then I'll come on. I will do my stream at 11 o'clock tonight right here on YouTube, so I hope you can join me. In the meantime, thanks to Van City Experts Real Estate, thanks to Perform and Transform Personal Training Weight Loss, thanks to legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members, and thanks to all of you as well. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day and enjoy the Canucks game. God bless, and go Canucks go.